to the Moms on Your Feed podcast. I'm Carissa.
And I'm Whitney.
And we are the Moms on Your Feed. And today we are discussing our lives as insurance professionals. I am a claims adjuster. And as an auto claims adjuster, I handle about when people are in accidents. So if you get into an accident, you have to file a claim with your insurance company. The insurance carrier will assign an adjuster. And I am a desk adjuster, which means I don't go out and I don't come and look at your vehicle. Either you'll go to a shop or we'll send an independent adjuster out on our behalf. And then we will essentially handle all of the payments. You're in insurance also.
Yeah, but I'm life. I was like, a life have. I'm sure life has adjusters as well. Life insurance.
Claims.
That would be claims. That would be very interesting though. Like, how did you really die? But I'm sure. But I'm sure that people probably do, fake their death for a policy or fake someone's death. Um, but I own a life insurance agency called Your Family, Your Legacy. I primarily work with parents and like growing families. My niche is like children's policies, but I also work with like parents and making sure they have coverage. I have the privilege to be licensed in like 28 states at this point. So yeah, it's been good, but it's like being a professional and also balancing mom life is definitely no small feat at all.
Yeah. So what made you decide to, I know we discussed this previously, but how did you decide to do insure or children as your,
My niche.
yeah, your
So
niche?
I actually was doing a policy for my daughter. So it wasn't like I was planning on just doing children, but I
Mhm.
was doing a policy on my daughter, and it was so hard for me to do a traditional children's policy. So I thought, well, what if I looked at this from a different perspective and looked at it more from a cash value perspective? So I took a life insurance policy that's technically usually not sold to children often, and I put it on my daughter, and I looked through the illustration, which is basically like a snapshot of what this policy could look like in the future. And I was just blown away. And I said, wow, more parents need to hear about this. More parents need to realize it is accessible, it can be affordable, and it can drastically change your family financial future if it's done correctly. Yeah, so I just kind of was like, I'll focus in this area, and it's been good so far. So no complaints.
That's amazing. Definitely check out Whitney if she is in one of your 20 states and maybe get a
I can
policy
get
for you.
more.
Yeah, yeah, she's always growing. I think with my license, I believe I am because I don't have to be licensed in all the states in order to adjust the vehicles. Some of them have reciprocity and all of that, and the company will take care of some of that. So I believe I have about 5 licenses,
Right.
on top of that, you and I are doing the podcast, and I'm also getting into content creation. And so for my day, when I start, my work day is literally a 9 to 5:30. Okay. So
Yeah, right. I call you, you never off the phone at 5:30.
I'm
It's
trying
like
to be better
9:30.
about it.
It's like 9 to 6
9 to
ish.
6:30. Last year for sure, I was definitely working overtime. But I'm trying to be more balanced and spending time with my child, my daughter, and also using my hours before work to um, get some of my other goals like content creation. So I use what they call my 5 to 9. I do 5 to 9 a.m. instead of 5 to 9 p.m. Because the PM is for me and Aubrey. So I'll use,
Amazing. Like,
huh?
it's just amazing. Like, 5 in the morning to 9 p.m., we are expected to just be going.
Yeah, to be on.
That is crazy. Like that, like when you really think about it, that's like unreal. It's so unreal and so unfair. That's crazy.
Hmm.
That's
It
crazy.
is. I'm still trying to fit in there, and I think you do a good job with it. I'm still trying to fit in my physical health. So I want to get more active. working out and stuff like that.
I need
I
to
mean, but
work
you
the
were.
diet might be together, but that working out, I used to, I have worked out. Before Riley, I worked out every day, but since Riley, I've had spurts. So I would love to get back to doing it on a consistent basis for sure.
Yeah, I do
Hmm.
too. I think currently I have certain days where actually I've fallen off from this. I was using like Monday morning and Tuesday morning from 5 until about 6:30 to maybe edit my videos and things like that and work on my business and get her ready for school, get her off to school, come back and then start my job. Making sure I'm getting enough rest and everything so that I can get up at 5 a.m. to
What
work.
time do you go to bed to get up at
I,
5?
the latest that I like to be sleep is by 9:30. Like I was doing 8 a.m., 8 p.m. or 8:30 p.m., but that's been harder to achieve lately. So I am now about, I would say 9:30, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock is probably the latest. If I see 10 o'clock on my phone because I'm scrolling, I'm like, oh, I definitely have to put it down because 5 a.m. is going to be here real quick. And it's harder to turn to just jump up. My body will wake up, but I want to hit the snooze and all of that. And then I'm just rushing and don't get to do anything for myself or my passions. So I do think it's important to have a good sleep schedule. And plus, I also can't get up like that if I'm not taking my vitamins. So I will say, like, for all I would say the up and coming moms, like prioritizing your health, your vitamins, so you can have the energy, because it takes energy for me to get from 5 a.m. or even 6 a.m. to 9 and 10 p.m. at night, you know. So that I think that's something that is important. And knowing um, I fight having a schedule. I don't naturally like it. But if I don't have one, I'm all over the place. So it's better for me to have one and to try to stick to it than to not, because I'm just not seeing the progress I want to see, you know. What do you do? How are you organizing your days or
So it depends on the day. Like so Monday through Friday, I take Riley. I get up about 7,
okay.
7:30. I got to get her ready for school. So my mornings is like strictly her. So I get her ready for school, take her to school. I look a mess. Then I come back home and then I get myself together
Hmm.
and then I start my day. Normally, see, that's the thing. On a Monday or a Tuesday, I can be on the phone or doing Zoom calls from like 11 to 9 o'clock at night.
Hmm.
And then in that middle time, I'm running to get her from school, coming back, making sure she eats, making sure my husband eats, and then I'm hopping back on a call. Um, so I don't really think that I feel like I definitely have a routine,
Hmm.
and my routine is like locked. Like what I do it every single day. But
Okay.
I wouldn't say that it is the best like schedule, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
I have a routine, but if I could ideally choose how, and I can, I'm an entrepreneur, and people think it's like so much flexibility in being an entrepreneur, but a lot of times it's not. Like because you are you don't have the ball and chain of a boss, but you
Right.
have the ball and chain of responsibility. So it's
Okay.
like, do I not hop on the Zoom call and this can pay my DCE or this can pay the lights, So sometimes sometimes as an entrepreneur, you tend to have to feel like you have to take the call, especially Monday through Friday. Cause like I we're in March. I haven't did a Saturday call. I only did 2 Saturday calls um in this year. So I really don't work weekends. Like I had someone today ask me, can she come on Sunday? I take her call on Sunday? I was like, well, Sunday is normally family day. And
Hmm.
I scheduled her for a day during the week. So for me, it's almost like just put your head down, grind it out Monday through Friday, and you will have your weekend, with your family. So
Hmm.
that's kind of my mindset. I go to bed super late. I'm normally up to like 2, 3 in the morning working.
Wow.
So I always tell people like my talking hours are like during the day, and then my night hours is like my office hours. That's when I can get
Yeah.
emails sent. I schedule my emails for the next morning. I'm putting in like information, notes, stuff for the carriers, those type of things. I'm doing it in the evening. So I definitely want to begin to go to bed a lot earlier. I
Mhm.
actually want to like revisit my schedule, especially as we're coming to close on quarter one, going into quarter two. I want to readjust my schedule to make it more feasible and make it more balanced because I feel like, like that's one of the perks of being an entrepreneur. So why not take it and make my schedule fit a little bit more into my I, my desire? Because I would love to wake up early. Like I woke up early yesterday. I had a presentation. I woke up about 6:30,
Mhm.
6 o'clock. And I felt good. Like I didn't feel drained or anything, but I did go to bed earlier the night before because I knew I had to wake up at 6 o'clock.
Right.
So
Right.
I would love to get up early, but it's kind of difficult, especially like when Riley's not having a good day. Somewhere like half of the morning, she's not having a good morning.
Yeah.
So that makes it difficult because then she's dragging. I'm like you're 3. It is not supposed to be this difficult yet for you to go to school. You should love school. You get to see your friends. You're the only
Girl.
child. Homegirl be like, I don't want to go to school. I'm tired. That's what she said. I'm tired, mommy. I was like, you're not tired. You went to sleep early. She was like, but I'm just so tired. I just want to lay here for a minute. I'm like, girl, are you 3 or 13?
Right.
So
Well, you say 13 because I think that a lot of my time in the morning after I'm done with, my time and it's time to wake Aubrey up, a lot of that time is spent waking her up and trying to
how
wake her
long
up.
do it take her to get her up?
I would say it takes a good 30 minutes. And
Really?
that's crazy. It may sound like it's not a lot.
But it is.
It's a long time.
It
It's
is.
a lot of wake up, time to get up. And I start off gentle.
Me
I
too. And
start off
I'm like,
gentle.
no one wants to be woken up like, yeah. So I go
Exactly.
home like it's morning time. It's morning time. She'll be like, you know. Um. So yeah, that's so funny you say that because I felt the same way. Like I don't want to give her trauma. Like
They
she
won't
always,
let us be great. It's like,
like she always wake up with this loud. My mama. Every morning I woke up to her screaming. I don't want
yeah,
her to have that story. But you
exactly.
don't make that be my story because you don't listen. Get up.
Okay,
Get
get
up.
up. And I'm
Yeah.
always like, well, had you went to bed last night, you wouldn't be so tired. If you go to sleep, it's just, I'd be like, ugh. So that's a lot of that time. And I know that if I was able to get her up, if she was just get up, she probably could sleep longer. If I knew that if I went in there and said, hey, Aubrey,
Yeah,
time to
if
get
you
up,
didn't,
little light
you
tap,
gotta give your buffer time.
she,
If you,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, she could really sleep until 7 o'clock, if she was gonna be up and moving.
yeah,
But
yeah,
she not. So I'm like,
yeah,
well, I have to start earlier, you
yeah,
and I'll start and kiss her.
and earlier, and
Right,
earlier.
and earlier.
You
In a
get on
minute,
the
we
top
turned
with
into
me.
my time. Right. Time to get up. Let's wake everybody up. So I think that's just something. And I hope one day, because they do change. I don't remember ever, but my mother though, there wasn't, I guess I had I had that fear that that iron fist was ruling the house. And so I wasn't, if it was time to get up, it was time to get up. Now she would put on music in the bathroom, which was on my floor where I slept. And so it would be loud enough. She would put on the radio, um, and it would be loud enough for everybody to hear it. She would be singing and popping her fingers. So I'll wake up like that. And I even tried that. I put on some music. I put on the same songs. Hello Detroit by who is it by? I can't remember. But every night Mason in the morning would play Hello Detroit at 6 o'clock in the morning when they start the radio show. So I even tried that with Aubrey, but what it just don't work. So, but we keep trying to be
You
organized.
gotta try a song that she likes.
I will. I'm gonna try
Yeah,
a song she
I like
likes.
that. She ain't. That's your memory.
Well, it's hers too now, so she will ask for it. Like we were driving, she was like, "Put on the Hello Detroit song," and
Yeah, but she might need a little something a little bit more hype.
okay, and I know what song she likes, so I
What
can put
song?
that on. It's girl, it's Happy Face. It's not a song that we done heard.
Like it's not your type of song.
Uh, it's not terrible, but I know it's called Happy Face. And when she asked for it, I was like, "Do you mean Happy by Pharrell?" And she, like, no, I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, try that. See if that works. But it's just yeah. Try to happy face. See if she wakes up with a happy face.
Yeah, yeah. So we were talking about how much it that the weight of 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. like that's a load on us, and
Or 2 a.m.
or 2 a.m. You, I can't believe I said, wow, and you get up at 7. That's only 5 hours, but you're a lot younger than I am, so you still have that you are. You still have that youthful energy and
You
vigor.
just sound like my mama. Nothing, I promise you, nothing burns my bridges more than being on the phone with my mom and I'm like talking about like my day and I'm frustrated and I'm like, oh my God, I'm just so tired. I don't get a lot of sleep. And she'd be like, well, you're young. Excuse me.
You like so? I'm
Like,
tired.
yeah, like you're canceling out my
Right,
feelings. I'm telling
right,
you, I'm tired now.
right.
You told me I shouldn't be because I'm young. I'm tired.
That consistent 2 a.m. going to bed, waking up at 7, girl, that's gonna catch up. It's catching
No,
up.
I actually just was watching. Did you see? Do you watch Jennifer Hudson show?
I only watch some clips.
Yeah, so she had a sleep expert on her show, and she was talking about like you always say it. Every time I got a headache, my stomach hurt, you be like you ain't getting enough sleep. I feel like everything I have an issue with always go back to sleep with you. You be like, you need some sleep. That's
Right.
the problem. You ain't getting enough sleep. And she was talking about it as she was talking about it too. Like they
Mhm,
did this thing with like NBA players and like all their performance had increased when they got more sleep.
mhm,
So I was like, okay, I do. And then you saying it made me a little bit more like aware of it that I do need to get some sleep and I can't be just staying up all the time.
mhm.
So yeah, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm working on going to bed a little. If I can be asleep by midnight, I'm happy. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, your body's gonna reward you. It's gonna be like, oh, oh, it's
Yeah,
7. Oh, let's jump out of bed. Like,
yeah, let's have a high
yep,
performance day. So
exactly.
I'm really gonna work on it. And then even like keeping Riley on a schedule is very helpful. I think that's helpful for moms, making sure that children are on a schedule because when they're on a schedule, it's easier for you to stay on your schedule.
Absolutely.
I think the foods that I eat has been helpful, like eating healthier foods, having healthier foods that's accessible to me,
Mhm,
where I don't have to like scramble every time it's dinner time or
mhm.
scramble every time I need a snack or have to like keep leaving the house to go get food or, oh,
Yeah.
I got to stop and get food after I pick up Roddy. I come straight home because we got fruit in the fridge. We got different things prepared and ready to go.
Mhm.
That has been helpful. Um, yeah, I think those are like the main things. I'm not good at taking my vitamins like you are, so I can't contribute it to vitamins.
But
I just
making that change, I feel like to whole foods like you have
mhm,
and
mhm,
cleaner foods, that
mhm,
definitely gives your body more of the nutrients that it needs.
absolutely.
And so you're less deficient in the vitamins and minerals because you're eating the whole foods. And
Mhm,
your body will tell that. I know when I was doing really good with my plant-based journey, one of the biggest changes I did notice was I slept better. And I used to wake up about, I would say at least 2 times a night to go to the bathroom. And then when I would take maybe if I did it for a week or two, I would not have to I wouldn't wake up as often to go to the bathroom at night. I would maybe only wake up once or not at all. And then I would have more rest. I would go to sleep faster and I would feel more rested. So I do think that wherever possible, if you can address, maybe try to take some of the lessen the processed foods, those are going to make big changes in your health and in our children's
yeah,
mental health and their awareness and their brain chemistry because things are a lot different. You know, we hear, oh, the food isn't like what it used to be. Well, I don't think I grew up on the food that my mother would have grown up on or that her mother grew up on, but we do have the options to have more whole foods, and I think we should try where
it's just not
possible.
as accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I literally be in a grocery store for like an extra half an hour looking at the ingredients in the back.
Ingredients.
Yeah, like and then trying to find like literally I bought some tomato sauce. One. And you know all those tomato sauces on them shelves.
Hmm.
One didn't have chemicals in it.
Wow.
One. I
What's the
bought
brand?
pickles.
Do you
I
know?
can't even remember. I can't remember.
I really want to make a bigger shift into less processed foods, and you know personally that I've been dealing with different challenges with Aubrey, and I want to make those changes to kind of help her deal with her varying emotions and all of that. And I really think it will help. Um, so that's going to be a change in me doing some more prep, being prepared for what we're going to have, knowing what we're going to eat, and having those things readily available to her.
And it really is influence. So like I noticed like because Riley wasn't a big like vegetable eater.
Hmm.
Like she would eat a lot of fruit, but even her fruit was limited. Like she would eat
Hmm.
like a fruit a day. Versus now because I'm eating better, like she eats literally fruit all day. Like
Okay.
I packed her lunch is like a yogurt. Today was a yogurt, a half of orange, grapes, blueberries, blackberries, and four crackers. Like
Wow.
wheat crackers and a juice. That was her lunch. And then she came home. She ate two bowls of salad and a piece of chicken. And then she ate she had a little bit of fruit left that I made her eat from her lunch. But I would have never envisioned her eating that last year.
Yeah.
But because I'm eating better, and that's what's successful. She sees me eating salad. She's like, "Oh, I
Right.
want a salad," you know.
Right.
So it's modeled.
It
People like
is.
they say that it's that's very true. Like
Hmm.
having a healthy lifestyle, eating healthy. If you want your child to do it, you need to do it. And I heard something similar even about reading. If you
Yeah.
want your child to read more, they should see you reading more because they
Right.
model what they see.
Right. I
Hmm.
agree. I totally agree with that. Aubrey was definitely eating more fruits and stuff when we had them. She was big when she was younger. She was big on the blackberries and all that. And she still
Hmm.
is. If we have it in the house, she'll still eat those things. So, I think moving forward though, when I think about my career and my motherhood, going through motherhood journey, I definitely have, like I was mentioning earlier, decided to make a switch and change and try to get into the content creation just for more of the freedom and less of the I have to be right here at this desk from 9 to 5:30 p.m. answering these calls and the changes of the companies. They change different processes. They may change your job function, and that's actually coming pretty soon. Like my job function is going to be changing again, and it's just not so enjoyable. Um, I remember when I was searching for a career and I spoke to her dad, and I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I knew I didn't want to go back to working in the school. Um, but so he said, well, why don't you look at insurance? And he was like, you can sell insurance. And I didn't want to do that because I don't think I'm a sales person, you know. And I came across adjusting. So that's how I picked that. I did some research, what I thought was great research. And it's not that it was bad. It's just it has changed since COVID. It has changed, how it's done. A lot of independent adjusters and things like that. But now focusing in on what do I really want to do? I'm a creative. And so content creation gives me that kind of an outlet to do that. And people are making a living from it, you know. So I think that if there are any moms that are not enjoying the career they are in, when we start with our schedule and see how we're structuring our days, then you can see when you can work on get your own 5 to 9 or 6 to 10 or whatever, and take some time to schedule your time to recreate your life, you know, and do research on the career path you think you want. I mean, do big research.
And
Big.
I would add too, because when you said like freedom and things like that, I think those were some of the things that I had wanted when I was working. So, I worked for an insurance company before I started my own.
Hmm.
And I remember wanting like freedom. Like I wanted two types of freedom. I wanted financial freedom and I wanted time freedom.
Hmm.
And when I realized that when I was thinking about like what I could do, we don't realize how valuable we are.
Yeah.
And I know from my point of view, even when the business wasn't doing so well, so my first year was really, really tough. And even when the business wasn't doing so well, I remember I had a friend that was like, "Hey, I need an admin for a couple hours a day. Come on, come. You could do a contingent if you want to take the day, take a day." And I remember working one day, and it was fine, but I just realized that I was worth so much more than the hourly rate.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think that everyone is worth more than an hourly rate.
Hmm.
And I think when you're working a job, take those skills and realize, what can I do to make this work? What can I do to transition this into something that
Hmm.
will pay me more than an hourly rate?
Hmm.
And the possibilities are endless. If I didn't have my business and I wasn't doing insurance, I would literally have a business encouraging people to really buckle down on their goals, on their desires, on what's in them, on the possibility of it being more. And it doesn't even always have to be I would say, the most glamorous role,
Yeah.
but something that can provide the things that you desire. So like for me, it was time freedom and it was financial freedom. So those were what was important to me. At what point in my journey, at this part of my journey, at this age, what do I know that could give me that? And it was
Yeah.
like, hey, you got this insurance license that you got with this company. You know the information. You desire to you help you have a desire to help people.
Yeah.
So it was an easy transition, and anyone can do it. Anyone can literally, like, it still amazes me that I get paid to do what I'm doing in a matter that I'm doing it. Like, even I have more time freedom than my boss had, that was
Wow.
like that, like he had a stricter schedule where he had to be at a certain place at a certain time.
Right.
And I have even more freedom than that. Like I think about that, like, I'm doing all of this from a computer. I don't have to go anywhere. Like I choose to go to these different states and do presentations, but
Mhm.
I don't have to. Like they find me and they connect with me and I do business. So yeah, I would encourage any mom, if you want the freedom, recognize that you have skills. We
Right.
all have skills. If you didn't have skills, your job would not be paying you every hour for you to show up from 9 to 5. So
That's
if
true.
they're willing to pay you from 9 to 5, figure out why that skill is so important, and figure out how to make it benefit you beyond the hourly rate.
Yeah. And if you don't know what it is you would like to do, or um yeah, what you would like to do career wise, there are different career tests out there. And I took one, and I felt like it was really insightful. If you answer the questions honestly, then it will give you some great ideas. And a lot of mine were in the creative. It told me creativity. It said one of the things was an art director, and I'm like, I don't know nothing about being an art director, but a content creator is creative, you know. Or when with my cosmetology license, that's creative. Doing my nails, that's creative. So obviously, there's something about the creative space for me that I enjoy, and that I like. So I would say take one of those online career tests, to find out, to just give you a start, even if you don't pick one of the careers. I know they gave me other options as well, because I said, well, what can I do?
you're a mom, you're a wife, you're a business owner, but who are you for Whitney? And
Mm,
I think you asked me that when we first, like your first podcast and you interviewed me, and you said, well, you say some days, you kill it as a mom, some days you kill it as a wife, and your goal is not to shortchange one role
mhm,
too many days in a row. But when do you find time for you?
mhm,
And um I don't feel like I figured that out yet. Like I still haven't figured out when I find time to do some things that I enjoy. Because sometimes I feel guilty because my job is so demanding that
mhm.
I feel like that is for me. Like
Right.
if my mom is watching Riley, so I can go to out of town or to a meeting, and then my husband has to pick up the slack because I'm at training or a conference or
Mhm.
whatever. Like, how dare I ask for another day to, do something I want to do? Like, you've been gone all this time. So I think sometimes I kind of feel that guilt to even ask about doing something personal.
Yeah.
But today I asked my husband, I said, hey, if you had an extra 2 hours a day, or if you had extra time in your schedule to do something just for you, what
Mhm.
would it be? And he was like, I don't know. And then he asked me, and I said, well, I actually have been looking at cooking classes for the last year. I've looked at like making bread classes, pasta classes, and I've looked at these classes, looked at the schedule, but I've never booked them.
Mhm.
So that is something that I will definitely do I would say before my birthday, which is in July. I want
Okay.
to take at least one cooking class. And like now I get my nails did, I guess that's for me, but that's still, to me, it feels like another check off the to-do
Right.
list. I don't really enjoy it. It takes so long. I'm like listening to an audiobook as I'm getting it done because I want to be productive. Like it just, I don't think it's for me. It's
That
just,
amazes me. People love to get their nails done. I would love to get mine done. I do it myself because it saves money. But what I'm saving in money, I'm definitely, you talk about takes time. I'm spending in time. It takes me a good 3 or 4 hours to do my nails.
I don't like getting my hair did either.
Oh my goodness. I would
Yeah,
love to get that done too.
I don't like to get my hair done. I don't. That's the thing. Like, I feel like some things that are self care, it will be like, oh, that's what you enjoy. Like, no, I do this because I want to look presentable,
Hmm.
not because I enjoy it. I think I would really enjoy a cooking class. Like, that's something that I think I would enjoy. I would enjoy to get a massage. That's something else I've looked at multiple times that I have not done. So what are some things that if you had an extra couple hours a day or a couple hours a week, what would be a hobby you would do?
It's hard for me because I don't take the time to think about what would I really just enjoy. I used to say sleep, when I was so tired. But now that I'm taking my vitamins, I was deficient in iron. So now that I got my iron and stuff, I mean, a nice relaxation. I always enjoy that. But hobby wise, I've always wanted to blow glass.
Okay.
Um, and I would like to make something, I would like to flip furniture. That's something else I would like to.
That's something I really enjoy to do as well, like painting furniture, changing fixture. And I would even like to do more stuff around my house. Like there's
Yeah.
projects that I have that I would love to work on, but I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
think, yeah, that's me too. It's about the time. It's about not necessarily knowing, that's something I would have to invest time in learning.
mhm.
Um, I had an idea to flip furniture, but then I said I don't have the space, or maybe it won't turn out right, like it won't look right. But it definitely is something
You
I'm
can do it for
interested
yourself. Like even like me, like I redid my cabinets. That was for me, but I enjoy it. It was
in. Yeah.
a core project to see from the beginning to the end.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
was going to I at one point I was going to redo my backsplash myself in the kitchen, and I just didn't. Um I might revisit that. I might revisit that. They have a lot of renter friendly hacks. And
Mhm.
even though I have in this co op, it's like part ownership, they still have some kind of rules about the cabinets and stuff like that. But I've seen so many renter friendly things where I'm like, oh, maybe I could, you know, do
Mhm.
something where it won't leave any damage.
Yeah, they do a lot with vinyl.
Yeah. So I
Mhm.
want to do something on the countertops too, but yeah.
It takes time, one thing at a time.
Yes. And I think I want to start my bedroom.
So what would
That's
you? I so kind of going into like the last question that we had prepared, managing growth. So what does it look like if your podcast do start the podcast start taking off or your content creation start taking off or both? What does it look like managing, your 9 to 5 with your 5 to 9 and then your motherhood journey? Like at what point do you make the decision to either let that go or
Mhm.
scale back, go part-time?
I would need to have um savings. I would say about 6 months to a
Hmm.
year in savings to let my full-time
Girl,
job
it go fast. I had 6 months. It went fast, and
I
I was.
believe it, but I wouldn't want to let it go until I have something coming in. So I want the savings, but I also want something coming in from my content creation and from the podcast. So, growing organically, it can take some time, and content creation in itself is a learning curve. Well, thank you all for joining us for this episode. Follow us on Instagram, Moms on Your Feed, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.